Well, am excited about our guest in this podcast and the conversation that we'll have. My guest is Art Rainer, and I'm going to say that Art is a money guy, and we will explain what that means and you understand. But we want to have a conversation about an area where I think the church is just strangely silent. And there's not a whole lot of great writing on this topic. There surely isn't. I don't know if I've ever heard in all of my years in the church a sermon series on this topic. And it's mystifying to me because if this book is your guide, this topic is all over the biblical narrative. Well, the topic I'm talking about is money. And I just want to say that one of the things you have to understand is it was God's choice, the God who's sovereign and rules his world in wisdom and grace. It was God's choice that money would be a thing in our lives, that money would be an issue. And that means it's never unspiritual to talk about money. God chose for this to be part of my life. If you're in ministry, you have to be concerned about money. That's God's choice. And so, because it is a significant issue in human life by God's plan, we need to understand it. We need to be willing to talk about it. We need to lovingly confront one another with this and encourage one another with this. We need to have a good theology of money. We need to understand how the themes of the gospel help us with this thing called money. So we're going to have this conversation today because I think Art has thought long and well about this, and if he hasn't, he shouldn't be doing what he's doing. So we're going to have this conversation. Art, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. And you said that there weren't many books out there on the topic. I just want to mention that there is a book called Redeeming Money by a gentleman named Paul Tripp, which is one of the best books on money, understanding the why behind our finances. And so there is a book out there that I recommend regularly, and it's Redeeming Money.
Well, we need to sometime talk about your books too, because you've written on the same topic. Thank you.